told y'all a little bit at the beginning, but my story starts a little bit before that. Like Chelsea said, we were sorority sisters. I came home to be with my husband, boyfriend at the time. I was working at a local wedding shop where I met that upline Susan. I sold her her wedding dress. She was placed into my life at like perfect time. I never would have met her, so a little emotional. A lot of these people are on my team, a lot are not, and it's crazy. She was placed in my life. Years later, she started this business, and I asked her about it, a couple weeks after she started, and I gave her every excuse in the book as to why I shouldn't join this business. I made up, y'all, every single lie. I told her we were moving. I told her that Jake would not let me.
Possibly we're moving.
For like a second. But like, literally, I told her every lie in the book. That I was waiting on payday, I was waiting on this, I was waiting on that. For 8 months. 8 months I told her. In that 8 months, we found out we were pregnant. We had gotten married, then we found out we were pregnant. So I was about 6 months pregnant, and I said, went on a trip, and I came back and said, you know what, Jake, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sign up. So I signed up July 19th, 2013, and I'll never forget. I signed up, got my customers, but that's about all I did. I didn't really get any distributors. I remained a distributor. I was running my auto ship. I was gaining loyal customers, but I wasn't really getting distributors. My daughter was born a couple weeks early in November, and I remember talking to Susan in the hospital really and saying, okay, I have to go back to work, but now I can't. Like, I have this daughter and she's just too important. I can't go back to my desk job. And my husband says, if I can make enough to pay my car payment, that I don't have to go back to work, which he could be so sweet and say that, but I knew we needed more than that.
A lot of ramen noodles.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of ramen. We needed a lot more than my car payment to make ends meet. So I knew I had a 16-week maternity leave and I had to make this work. So we went to work, and this was in November, and at the end of January I went diamond, and then in March I went double, and I went back April 1st. I put my 2 weeks in on April 1st, and I went back for 1 week, and then I lied again. I told them my daughter had an ear infection because I was like, I don't know y'all anything. Like, they were just terrible.
Halfway through the 16 weeks, the company said, oh, we messed up. It's actually only 8 weeks. You need to come back to work. And
Yeah.
So
luckily, I was making enough with It Works that I was fine. Thank goodness. But so never looked back. I went triple in May. He went diamond. We made the diamond, the double, the triple, the diamond bonus. The following May, I went presidential. We're looking to go ambassador soon. This past November, we had been talking about it, and he went in for like a yearly review at work, and they asked him how he was liking it there, and he said, I was ready to put my 2 weeks in, and I couldn't just tell them, yeah, I'm liking it, and in a couple of months.
we had planned on the next following week putting in 2 weeks notice, and when they asked me, I was like, I can't be like, oh yeah, I like it, and then come back and a week later say, oh thanks, see ya.
So he surprised me and said, I quit. So in November, we became a full-time family. We now have 2 babies. We have a 2.5-year-old and a 15-month-old. And this is kind of a funny story. We went shopping a couple weeks ago. Actually, I just ran into a store, and the lady was talking to me, and she asked me something, and she said, oh, so your husband is home all the time? And I said, yeah. And she said, so your kids have undivided attention from you all the time? And I was like, yeah, they do. And she was like, so do they get in trouble a lot? And I was like, no, they don't get in trouble a lot, but they just have a lot of attention all the time. They always have someone around. It's just crazy. It's they were supposed to be going to a nanny every day. That was the way when I went to college, that was the way my life was supposed to be structured. That was the only thing I ever saw for my life. And, you know, God just placed someone in my life at the perfect time, years before this company was ever even brought into her life. And it just is amazing. And then to see all these people on stage with stories that, you know, they're home with their kids and they're paying off bills, and maybe they're not home with, you know, maybe they're just home with their husbands and bringing their husbands home. And, you know, it's so awesome. And, you know, we're so blessed by this company. And whatever rank you are, just, you know, the one thing we've always said is remember your why, whatever rank, because it can take you to the next. You know, when we are down, you know, when we were down at, you know, Diamond, and we were, you know, kind of down in the dumps because, you know, someone quit. Okay, we just looked at that baby girl and we were like, you know what, they quit, but we're going to replace them because, like, look at her, and I can't go back to work. I'm not going to do it. And just remember why you started this business. And if your why isn't big enough to make you cry and to make you want to do more and want to stay up later and want to wake up earlier, then, like, dig deeper and get down to the root of why you started this business. Because, I mean, it really is, like, it will change your life if you let it. So, I mean, it has changed our lives. Is there anything?
I'd say one key, I guess, very important is just to be consistent with whatever you do. If you're able to devote 10 hours, you know, a week or 50 hours a week, just be consistent with your time and what you're able to do and how you're able to do it. Because, you know, everybody goes through ups and downs where they might sign 5 people in a week, or it might be 2 months and they might not sign anybody. But if you're consistent and you stay with it, it's just going to start to snowball, and you're gonna become better at the things that maybe you weren't so good at, and the things you were good at, you're gonna become awesome. And then you never know where you're gonna end up. So.
But we do have a very special guest here. The very special person I was talking about that I sold her wedding dress. I can still remember the exact wedding dress. It was Casablanca in 1936, and she extended the train 36 inches, and she wore the veil, Malice Henderson V336. I love weddings. So that was her wedding dress and veil, if anyone wants to know. But she is here. She is awesome. I mean, best leader, and her husband is here. He's great. I mean, we love the Wades more than anything, and they are our ambassador upline, earning at least $37,000 ambassador upline. Plus, they have a 2.0 leg that is presidential. I mean, they are incredible. So give it up for our special guest